Hi, I thought I might take you gardening with me today. Excuse my face, my body's not coping very well at the moment, so I'm going to have to work slowly and with care and lots of tea. So I'm in one of my favourite gardens. Well, that's a silly thing to say, they're all my favourite, but this one's particularly special because I redesigned this back garden last spring. Yeah, just over a year ago, last April. So it's a lovely story. It's a farmer who lives on the hill opposite me. Her mum used to live in this house, and then the house and garden got a bit too much for her, and so this house is now a holiday cottage. And last year, Liz asked me if I would redesign this back garden as a surprise for her mum, because her mum loves this garden very much, and she wanted to make something special for her, so it felt like a great honour to be asked. And I took a lot of time to choose the right plants and went to Eggleston Hall Gardens, one of my favourite nurseries in Teesdale, to choose gorgeous healthy plants that would be strong for the North Pennine conditions. I'm just going to get my tea. So I don't get to come very often because the fact that it's a holiday cottage, so I'm not here when there are guests staying, so I have to find times when it works. So I'm not here as much as I would like to keep it in good condition, but when I come I do a good bash. So I'm going to show you around first of all, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when I finish with it. So hope you enjoy. So this is Hepple Hill cottage in Northumberland, just on the border between Northumberland and County Durham, near Edmundbyres. Well, in Edmundbyres really. Gorgeous cottage, a bit of a mishmash of old and newer. It's amazing inside, it's really unusual design with incredible views at the other side onto the moors. So this is the front garden, lovely little cottage garden, easy to maintain perennials because of not being able to get here very often, and bushes, lovely rowan tree. Little barbecue area. So this area when I started was all astroturfed, just to make it easier to look after, because a garden of any size is something to look after, but when it's a holiday cottage then that becomes more tricky in terms of time. So I'm slowly getting rid of the astroturf. That's the last remaining bit, and it's being planted up with ground cover, all of this area here. So there's a herb area, gorgeous lupins which are always stunning, absolutely huge and well established. So Liz has left me some little bits to pop into places. So we've got a huge geranium patch here which I extended last summer. Needs a Chelsea chop, so all the geraniums have gone to seed. And if I cut this back quite hard now, then there'll be a second flowering later in the summer, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to be very careful of the bees. So Chelsea chop is normally done around Chelsea time, mid-May. It's now mid-June, but it's still totally fine to cut them back. They'll come back healthy. So that's the front garden, and then there's a little secret passage to the gorgeous courtyard garden. So, look at that for a view, especially a breakfast view or evening drinks view. Pretty gorgeous. So this table was made actually by one of my neighbours, a carpenter that lives just above my house. So yeah, last year this is the area I redesigned. It had It had a few plants in quite a lot of bare soil. There's a couple of things I've kept. So this little bit here, these trees, obviously they were here. And the honeysuckle is here. But everything else, and that jasmine was here, but everything else I've planted, and it needs some attention. Definitely needs some attention. So it's looking very full. It's looking a bit over full. It's got some grass that needs pulling out. It needs some. The roses are got a bit of black spot, so that needs looking at. They're still pretty gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, the view. The view. So that clematis was here. And then this area is pretty much as it was with the ivy, and there's a clematis montana growing up over there. So this little area, yeah, I tend to leave to its own devices, but it could do with a bit of cutting back today. It smells amazing. This honeysuckle smells so good. So I'm going to get to work and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. I'm just going to share a couple of things as I'm going around. So yeah, I said about the black spot on the roses. So black spot's a fungal disease. You can see a little bit here. There's a little bit of burning there actually, but yeah, black spot's a fungal disease and it will spread. It's very common on roses. And so you want to get rid of any of the leaves that have got the black spot because it will spread. And then you can, something's been eating this as well. You can spray using bicarb solution, which I don't have with me, so I'm going to have to pop home. Thankfully I'm only 10 minutes from home. Oh, it's got some green fly on it as well. Yeah, so this rose isn't particularly healthy. It needs a little bit of help, and we can do that in various ways. We can deal with the problem, as in like treat the problem, but then we can also get the plant more healthy, and that's what we want to do really. So I'm gonna put some mulch because I haven't done anything to the soil since last spring, so it could do with some feed to get the plant itself healthier. There's another rose here which I planted. So I planted one white, one pink, and this rose is much happier. It's got no black spot. It's smaller. It's not grown as much, but it's much happier. So that might partly be the variety, that might be the location. It gets a little bit more sun, might be what's around it. Might randomly be getting more feed there. But I'm always looking at dealing with the cause of the problem rather than just treating the symptoms like with Western medicine. So when you're planting a garden, it's very tempting to overfill it because you want it to look great straight away, like a Chelsea garden. When I planted this garden, I had the fear, as I always do, that it was looking a bit bare. And it was April, so of course things weren't bushing out. But looking at it now, I'm pretty pleased that I've made some good choices. There's a couple of bare-ish patches here, so you don't want bare soil because long term, obviously, the more soil there is, the more chance for things you don't want there to pop up. So I've got quite a lot of vetch coming through, which would be fine in some places, but it grows tall and it can strangle things, so I'm pulling any vetch out, and some down here. It looks a little bit like a pea, I think it's a pea type plant. I'm pulling out any grass that's coming through from the field. But you can see I've got things planted close enough together that there's no gaps, and it's going to fill out a bit. It's still early June, so we've still got time. I've just moved this lupin forward a bit because it was a little bit too close to those plants at the back. And then here it's definitely getting too jumbly, and some of this does need to come out. So I've got some grass coming through. I've got feverfew, which looks a little bit like chamomile. It's very pretty, but I'm going to take it out because it's going to strangle things. I won't divide the lupin now. The lupin definitely needs dividing either next spring or once it's done this year, because it's going to take over. It's too big and it's going to strangle other things around it. I'm going to do Chelsea chop on some more of these perennials. They're looking fine, but they'll soon be over and I won't be here, so I need to cut them back now. So there's lots of aquilegia here which has gone over, and I am cutting back. I've just cut back the seed heads a little tip. Secateurs are fine, but when you're trying to chop lots of things at once, these guys, sheep shears, are super helpful. So secateurs, obviously the blade's only so long, but with sheep shears, they're super sharp. You have to be careful. Speaking to myself. But they cut loads at the same time if you're cutting something not particularly hard, so it's no good for like pruning hard wood, but for soft things like aquilegia it is perfect. Okay, I have finished the back garden. It's a weird weather month, June in the UK, or up here anyway. It's like really hot, 30 degrees in May, and now it's 9 degrees when I got here, 20 degrees now, 2 hours later, overcast and just odd. So the ground is really dry, having had loads of rain. It's somehow dried out and it's quite loose soil. It's like quite loamy and it needs a little bit more substance to it, so it's going to need maybe some muck or some heavier topsoil because everything's drying out quickly, which is probably why the rose is not so happy. So I've got the drip feeder, the hose with holes in it just to water it while I'm doing the front garden, but it's looking not quite as full as it was. I've pulled some things out. I've taken some of the lupins back because they were squashing what's behind. Cut geraniums back, and yeah, moved a couple of things around, and it's generally looking a lot happier. So the next job is to deadhead or Chelsea chop all of these geraniums. It's a big job. It's a 5-6 meter bed. It's going to take a while. This is where these come in super handy, and I'm just going to take it, can't really see very well, can you? I'm taking it right down to the base, so I'm taking all of that. I could even chop the leaves like right down to the ground if I wanted to go really harsh. I'm not going to today, but I'm going to cut back all of the flowers, being careful because there's loads of bees, and it'll come back stronger. So what would have taken over an hour with secateurs took 10-15 minutes of sheep shears. So all the flower heads are gone, just the leaves remain. I could have taken it much lower and it would still come back, but this is going to make the new flowers come much quicker because all the energy is going down into the plant to make new flowers. Oh, I can't breathe very well. I'm moving too quickly, but I'm listening to an episode by Ross Gay, who's a poet I love, poet and gardener, and he is giving me delight while I'm working. So it's not perfect, there's still a couple left, but that's okay. I'm gonna move on to this bit of the garden now. So I've been here 4 hours and it's much longer than I intended, and I need to stop. But in a lot of ways I feel better than when I started. Can you see that? That is the craziest thing. So this rowan tree, its trunk is split in two, and this is the growth between the two parts of trunk, which is joining them together. That's insane. I've never seen that before. Gosh, they're co-joined twins. Yeah, I feel better in myself than when I started because gardening brings me joy. And I've been listening to, excuse the traffic, Ross Gay's a podcast of Ross Gay speaking to Krista Tippett while I was gardening on joy. He wrote a beautiful book called Garden of Delights, and he was talking about that, and it was delighting me So in the spirit of this wonderful person, I'm going to share the delights of this garden for the last little bit. This is not going to be polished, and it never will be polished because I don't want to spend my time producing videos. So I promise it probably won't get better. The camera angles probably won't get better. There'll be bits that are boring to watch because I do not want to spend my precious time editing films. One day maybe I'll be rich enough to employ somebody, but right now this is how it is, and I'm gonna share my delights with you. Lupin delight. Covered in bees. Yes, yes, yes. One of the things that delights me most in the whole world is drops of water on hostas. Oh! Couldn't you just eat it? Just look at it. All the different types of hostas as well. This one. Yes, please. Final delight is this view in the little secret garden. How good's that? I'm gonna stand on the table. Whee! Delight. I thought the bee was the final delight, but I don't know if you can hear over the wind. There's a cuckoo cuckooing right, just right there.